Hello, this is the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. Now, just a quick reminder that you can watch this news on Vision TV, 247 and other social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Frama Panyi, and my sign language interpreter is Shegun Ajayi. Now, let's begin with the news highlights. Minister of Information and National Orientation drums support for renewed hope agenda in Jigawa State. Senate investigates implementation of Anor Borrowers Program, frowns at discrepancies on approvals of ways and means. And U.S. unveils draft on UN resolution for immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Now, we begin with stories from the State House. Nigeria is reaffirming commitment to driving small and medium enterprises as well as other viable sectors of the economy with technological revolution in the country. President Bola Tinubu expressed the commitment when he received a delegation of Meta Platform Incorporated led by the global president of the company, Nick Clegg. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports.
The government of the day is putting action to its words for technological advancements to power the development and growth the country is in dire need of. Poised to do big things, the country is equally attracting the global big players in the sector. With Meta Platforms Incorporated, one of the largest American information technology companies, as one of the big investors yet encouraged by the new climate in the country. President Tinubu acknowledged that the vibrancy of Nigerian youth, social networks in the country, as well as the huge followership provide opportunity for economic success, which he likes Meta and others to key into. The president called attention of his guests to the growing ecosystem in technology and the promise it holds for leapfrogging development in Africa, assuring that the government would support technology to bolster prosperity. Meta is now ready for the next big deal that will deepen digital technology in Nigeria. With the early approval of the president, the company has now landed the world's most extensive submarine cable in Africa, with 2 landing points in Nigeria.
We were hoping, and I still think it's the fastest of the landing of submarine cables in Nigeria. They landed in Lagos and Uyo. As we know, last week there was a cut in submarine cables, so you can see why this landing is important. And the president was quite clear about supporting businesses like Meta that are investing in infrastructure to deepen our digital economy.
Which wouldn't have happened without the help of the president and his team. That itself will hopefully come on stream in the first quarter of 2025 and will really enhance the connectivity and resilience of digital infrastructure in Nigeria. And
this infrastructure is expected to drive the intention of the administration toward enhancing local companies and businesses in a mutually beneficial manner.
But also we need to make it easier for people to earn a living. If they are a creator and they are posting videos and content which people enjoy and consume on Instagram and Facebook, we need to provide them with tools so that they can monetize that, they can earn a living. And that's exactly what, as I was explaining to the president and his team, we will be doing in the weeks and months ahead. New tools will become available to creators in Nigeria between now and the summer so that they can earn a living, that they can place ads for themselves in stream or between different short form videos.
So we think this fits into the presidential priorities of creating economic opportunities, particularly for small businesses in the country. So we need to really explore opportunities there. What can we bring to the table to help accelerate trade opportunities for small businesses in the country?
Meta Platforms Incorporated owns and operates Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, among other products and services to the world. From the State House, Musbah Wahab, NTA News.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has called on state governors to support the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu in ensuring the dividends of democracy gets to the grassroots. The minister stated this during a courtesy visit to Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi at the Government House in Dutse. The report.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, said he was in the state to interact and engage with citizens of the state on what President Tinubu's administration is doing to make life better for all Nigerians. He appealed to Nigerians to be patient and have faith that the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu has certainly done positive results. The minister commended the Jigawa State Governor on his diligence and hard work in the agricultural sector, noting that Jigawa State is central to the federal government's food security agenda.
Today, Jigawa State is a leading light. It's showing the way to the entire country, the way to go in terms of agricultural production. And this, of course, is happening because of the kind of effort, commitment, focus, dedication, determination, consistency, honesty, sincerity of purpose that His Excellency, the Executive Governor, has put in place.
Governor Umar Namadi said Jigawa State is #1 in the country in wheat, sesame, gum arabic, and hibiscus production, and it is on that note the government integrated all the policies of President Tinubu renewed hope agenda into his 12 points agenda in the state.
In Jigawa State, we are committed to support Mr. President to achieve food security in Nigeria. We have a landmass of almost 22,000 square meters. And out of that, 80% of that land is arable land. And out of that, about 400,000 hectares are Padama land that you can grow food year in, year out. Honorable Minister, as at today, only about 50% of that land is under cultivation.
In a related development, the Minister of Information and National Orientation was at the palace of Emir of Dutse Hamim Nuh Sanusi, where he solicited the royal father's support in sensitizing the people on government's policies and programs aimed at bringing Sako to the people. The Emir of Dutse Hamim Nuh Sanusi called on the minister and processors under him to do more to sensitize Nigerians to be patriotic citizens. From Dutse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
Now, the review and harmonization of Nigeria's National Geoinformation Policy and National Geospatial Data Infrastructure Bill is underway. This is at the instance of the National Space Research and Development Agency as relevant stakeholders converge to develop a revised policy framework, operational strategies, and processes for sustainable growth of the efficient NGDI ecosystem. Justin Bem Onye reports.
Spatial data, also referred to as geospatial and location-based data, are data that relate to a location on Earth. Government at all levels need information on issues such as land ownership, road infrastructure, land use, among others, making geospatial data to be very crucial for government. As Nigeria sits to review and harmonize its National Geoinformation Policy and National Geospatial Data Infrastructure (NGDI) Bill, Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology Uche Naji called on stakeholders and the public to fully embrace the NGDI, emphasizing the pivotal role it plays in shaping the future of Nigeria's geospatial landscape and fostering a thriving ecosystem. The minister was represented by his special advisor on technical matters.
Today we embark on a journey of strategic significance that will shape the future of our country's geospatial landscape. This harmonization is not merely administrative, it is the bedrock upon which our geospatial ecosystem will flourish.
To help us articulate and guide our country so that we can quickly evolve and a cooperation mechanism that will provide a platform where all those who are in geospatial information can work together and can develop common standards that can generate data sets that can talk to each other.
Spatially enabling society is regarded to be important to tackling the global and local consequences of the major issues of our times, like climate change, population growth, and economic globalization, and the associated problems of environmental pollution, security risks, traffic congestion, and depletion of natural resources.
Experts in the sector say for the successful implementation of a national geospatial data infrastructure in Nigeria, there is need for a national geoinformation policy that will provide the necessary guidelines, identify various committees to be responsible for various aspects of the NGDI, and provide strategies that will hasten the takeoff of the NGDI. Justin Bemuni, NTA News.
And space lawyers play a key role in ensuring that the space industry is managed in a fair, peaceful and sustainable manner while bringing some important challenges for the existing legislation that governs legal activity in space. For these, among other reasons, the Director General, National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Ahmed Shaba, calls for more space lawyers in the country. Haman Jabani reports that was at the Nigerian national round of the Manfred Lark Space Law Moot Court competition in Abuja.
The Manfred Launch Mount Court competition was established in 1992, where it provides students with an opportunity to engage with and bid against teams from across other regional champions in the world round. The aims of the competition are to promote the interest in, involved in, and knowledge of space law among students by providing a fair and competitive environment for the exchange of thoughts and the deepening of understanding of space law. This is why the Director General, National Space Research and Development Agency, Ahmad Shaba, says the agency is encouraging specialization in the field of space law and supporting the competition in the country. It is to see that Nigeria takes the lead in the space industry in Africa.
We keep saying that the space is for everyone. And if everybody is coming into space, who guides this arena? So somebody must guide it. And if you don't develop the lawyers, you can't pick them when you need them. You must develop them to a certain extent. And we collaborate with most universities that train law students so that we catch them young.
The space arena and our experience on the continent of Africa is very, very novel. We are new to this experience. Having been new in this experience, we need to build critical mass of intelligentsia, educationists, scholars who can compete favorably with any part of the globe.
7 universities are participating in the national round of the competition, and the winner will meet other African countries' winners for the regional round in South Africa. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Now, information just reaching us from the State House says President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Mr. Olugbile Holloway as the Director General of the National Commission for Museums and Monuments. Holloway is the Managing Director of Evoke Communications Limited, a creative brand consultancy agency. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Politics and International Relations and a Master's degree in Business Administration. Statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajure Ngelale, indicates that the President expects that the new director will bring life into this important agency and ensure the preservation, promotion and development of Nigeria's diverse tangible and intangible cultural heritage. And following public hearing on the NAFDAC ban on alcohol in sachets and PET bottles, Chairman of the House Committee on Food and Drugs Administration and Control, Regina Akume, is appealing to NAFDAC to be guided by public demands on the matter. At a media briefing after the public hearing, the committee expressed concerns that the ban contradicts constitutional provisions and undermines the economic recovery plan of the current administration, citing potential job losses and economic hardships. Recommendations proposed include the lifting of the ban and the implementation of regulations to ensure compliance.
The economy is struggling, unemployment rate is staggering, and the inflation rate is soaring, while the poverty level is on the increase with paucity of forex to do business. This should be replaced with prescribed regulations and access control, such as they should be placed with prescribed regulation and access control, such as establishment of licensed liquor stores, outlet in LGAs across the country, making it unlawful to send underage persons to purchase alcoholic beverages, tightening enforcement by law enforcement agencies, increased monitoring and compliance checks by the NAFDAC, FCCPC, and others to ensure strict product quality in terms of content and safety. Conclusion. All the recommendations and prayers of this committee were adopted.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the United States has circulated a draft of UN Security Council's resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire and release of hostages in the Gaza Strip. Francis Udoja reports that the diplomat made the announcement while on a tour of the Middle East.
Key Israel backer, the United States has vetoed previous UN Security Council votes on the nearly 6-month Israel-Palestine war. In recent weeks, however, Washington has mounted pressure on its ally while insisting that Hamas militants must immediately release hostages seized by militants during its October 7 attacks on Israel. In Saudi Arabia, Blinken said there is a resolution that put forward right now that is before the United Nations Security Council that does call for an immediate ceasefire tied to the release of hostages, and we hope very much that countries will support. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to destroy Hamas in retaliation for the October 7 attacks. U.S. officials had been negotiating an alternative text since blocking an Algerian draft resolution calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza at the end of February. According to diplomatic sources, the alternative is focusing on support for a 6-week truce in exchange for the release of hostages, with little chance winning approval. A new version reports stressing the need for an immediate and durable ceasefire to protect civilians on all sides, enable the delivery of essential humanitarian aid, and alleviate suffering in relation to the release of hostages still held. Blinken met Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan and then held talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman soon after landing in the kingdom on the first leg of a regional tour that would include Egypt on Thursday and then Israel on Friday. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
And negotiations to form a transitional council to govern Haiti has advanced as the United States airlift more citizens to safety from gang violence, which has plunged the country into lawlessness. Francis Udoja reports that Haiti has been rocked by a surge of unrest since February when armed groups raided a prison, releasing thousands of inmates and demanding the resignation of the Prime Minister.
Shooting erupted in the Pétionville suburb of the capital, with locals barricading roads to protect themselves and stop access to gangs. Government sources say a nighttime curfew due to end on Wednesday was extended until Saturday in the East Department, which includes the capital. In the meantime, violence has exacerbated an already grim humanitarian situation, with warnings of famine, malnutrition, and the collapse of basic services. The World Food Programme said roadblocks in the capital had impeded efforts to distribute food. Meanwhile, Haiti's Prime Minister has been stranded in Puerto Rico since the gang's coordinated attacks began, while he was away in Kenya trying to tidy a plan for Nairobi to lead a UN-approved police force to restore order in Haiti. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has urged Haitian stakeholders to put aside their differences and unite behind the plan for a transitional council. The UN's refugee agency has issued a statement calling for the protection of Haitian migrants, urging countries not to forcefully return people to Haiti, including those who have had their asylum claims rejected. To protect its citizens, the United States continued to evacuate more of its people, taking them by helicopter from Port au Prince to the neighboring Dominican Republic. Though there has not been a mass exodus from the country, the United States has turned away at least one boat of migrants, warning those coming by sea will face immediate repatriation. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Now, having a structured environment and building trust with the diaspora is a major step towards encouraging investment in Nigeria. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, emphasized this while partnering with Octiva Capitals Group in order to encourage and project investment opportunities for Nigerians in diaspora. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports that part of the essence of the partnership is to boost confidence in Nigerians in diaspora to securely invest in Nigeria without being fear of being swindled.
About the opportunity in Nigeria, and I'm one such, I really believe, because I see it. When you look at a population of 220 million, 240 million people, if you compare that to the United States, which is 330 million people, that talks about the captive market that Nigeria is. And obviously there's a lot of international interest and you know, to invest into Nigeria.
So we encourage Nigerians, invest in your own country, because a lot of Nigerians are investing in other parts of the world. And we hope to work with you in that regard, and hopefully we can continue to encourage our brothers and sisters to think of home first. And even the Nigerian government, in talking about foreign direct investment, your first line of contact should be Nigerians in the diaspora.
Now, the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the ways and means and implementation of the Anchor Borrowers Program has alleged that due process was not adhered to, as discovered in some of the records scrutinized so far. The committee is probing the issuance and usage of trillions of naira, ways and means to the federal government from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Chairman of the committee, Senator Jibrin Issa, while engaging officials from CBN, says some of the approvals in billions of naira the committee observed were questionable.
But under the ways and means, ordinarily, the committee of governors, okay, is supposed to be the approving authority. Okay? But going through the documents, we're able to spot out areas where the governor alone signed unilaterally. I don't know what gave the governor that power. Here we have governor that talked about 13 places where the governor unilaterally decided to approve. We're talking of billions and billions of naira, trillions of naira. We want to get a solution in that regard.
The committee will meet with the CBN governor as the inquiry progresses. And now let's take a quick look at weather forecast for Nigeria and other cities of the world. And that concludes the news at this time. Thank you for your time. I am Frama Panyi and my sign language interpreter is Shegun Ajayi.